Hello, everyone. Welcome back to All Financial Discussion. This video, I like to explain when you actually can become a financial legend. Being a financial legend, the first thing is you must be able to tell when you actually achieve financial independency. So basically, this will be the objective of this video. Guys, from this video, there are actually 10 indicators to indicate that you managed to achieve financial independence. Maybe a little bit on myself. I have looked through the 10 indicators. Probably I can't even say that one, I make it. But I'm happy to say that quite a handful of them actually is so-called work in progress. So basically, let's learn this together and become financial independent together. Before I continue, guys, I need your help. Help me by like this video. Encourage me by subscribing to this channel and turn on your notification bell. Once again, thank you so much for strong support. This word, financial independence, can vary for different people. However, when we actually achieve this financial independence, we need to celebrate. This is because this is a very important and major milestone. Although, like I mentioned earlier on, this financial independence can be vary for different people. However, there are universal signs that actually truly show that you make it, which means that you are now financial independence. Here's how to know when you actually reach these so-called steps. There are actually 10 of them. Let's go through one by one. The first one, you live on your investment, not your paycheck. So I hope by now you are able to distinguish the difference between investment and paycheck. From this diagram here, you can see that these are all the source of income. The main one for people that just start working, the key source of income will be by the paycheck, which means that you contribute your time, you contribute your skill set, and basically someone will pay you in a money or in an hourly basis. So this don't consider as investment. So your investment should be passive, which means that you don't need to spend so much time in order to have this new stream of income. So in short, your passive income can be your dividend. For example, you have a stock, and the stock actually have dividend. So you probably will receive maybe yearly or even monthly, the dividends from the stock. So basically, this is what we classify as passive income. Next, again, you have enough money, you have enough money to buy a property, and this actually create another source of income, because rental will be coming to you in a money basis. So again, this form here, we classify them as a passive income. Loyalty maybe is not that common. For example, you have certain IP. So basically the IP actually generate another source of income. So again, from here, you can imagine that all this actually so-called is the passive income. And if all this passive income manage to cover all your living expenditures, congratulations, you are actually financial independent now. So basically, in short, this is what you want to say. If your passive income is greater than or equal than your spending, then you actually achieve the first milestone to be financial independence. So basically, this is what I have described on my previous video. Next is you have the money. So basically, this step here is also very depends on different people. Everybody will sure have some form of money. But how much money is enough for you to so-called declare as financial independent? So basically, this is a few pointer here. You can walk away from toxic jobs, bad deals, or unfair situation without financial stress, which means that one day you find your job which is toxic, you can resign immediately, because you don't have the financial stress. Then so-called this, you can say that you have the enough money, to achieve this financial independence. So basically, this is what it say. So basically, I like to show you another chart, which is from Mr. Money Mustache here. So what he actually present is actually on the left column here. So basically, this show in terms of percentage your saving. And on your right here is basically how many years you need to work until you actually retire. So basically, in short, over here, you can see that the more you save, okay, as you can see that the percentage of saving actually increase, you can see that your working year, okay, for retirement also reduce. Typically, for a start, okay, most of us, we start off by having this 30% as a saving. Okay, so from here, you can see that probably you need to work for 28 years, then you will be able to retire. So if not, okay, try to achieve 50% saving. And with 50% saving, okay, you just need to work for 17 years in order to achieve retirement. Okay, so basically this is step number 2. Step number 3, okay, your net worth, okay, will grow even when you are not working. Okay, so basically the key thing is you try to have as many investment as possible. This actually generate a net worth, and this net worth will actually work for you even though when you're actually not working. Okay, so basically in short, you can say that this is actually a passive income. So once you have all this, okay, basically you were able to generate compound interest, and basically the investment, okay, will work harder than you do. Okay, so even some changes in the market situation, you will not be upset. Okay, you will be still able to sleep. Okay, because you know that you are actually financial resilient. Okay, so once you have this money, there is a retirement plan. Okay, which is called the 4% rule. Okay, so basically this is actually a retirement plan. Okay, basically they indicate that a retiree, okay, actually can withdraw 4% of their retirement fund in the first year, and basically they can remove that dollar amount adjust for inflation every year after. Okay, so let me show you another example. Okay, so this actually quite confusing. Okay, so this is actually the 4% rule, okay, which is a very popular retirement withdrawal strategize that actually designed to help retire, okay, to manage their saving. Okay, so now imagine you have a pool of saving. So the key principle of this 4% rule is basically in your first year of retirement, okay, you actually withdraw 4% of your total retirement portfolio. Okay, for example, now, if you have $1 million that you actually save, okay, so on the first year, you actually can withdraw 40,000, okay, which is 4% of this 1 million. So therefore, it's about 40,000 in year one. Okay, so next, okay, because every year we have some form of inflation. So let's say on the second year or in a so-called subsequent year, okay, so adjust the withdrawal amount for inflation. Okay, for example, the next year we have a inflation of 2%, and in year two, okay, beside 40,000, we also will withdraw additional 2% to cover the inflation. So 2% of 40,000 will be $800. So therefore, on the year two withdrawal, we will withdraw 40.8, 40,000 K, close to 40,000 K. Okay, so basically this is what we need to withdraw on year two. Okay, so the rules is basically you need to ensure your investment continue to grow. So therefore, okay, this rule actually assume us to have a balanced portfolio. Okay, for example, close to 50-60% on stock, 40 to 50% on bond. So this will actually provide growth and stability. Okay, so in short, okay, most of them actually prove that with these rules, okay, basically this 4% will be able to last throughout your whole so-called retirement. Next, on step number 4, okay, so step number actually mentioned that you are actually debt free. Okay, so what is actually debt free? Okay, so basically, rich debt, poor debt actually have this, we call this good debt and versus bad debt. Okay, so this is what we call those bad debt. Okay, because all this bad debt actually require you to take money out of your pocket. Okay, for example, you spend on certain thing, okay, on credit card, you need to pay your credit card bill. You take out a car loan, okay, to buy your car. Okay, for example, you take out a mortgage, okay, for your own house, and then maybe also you take out a student loan for your study. Okay, so all these are classified as bad debt. What is actually good debt? Okay, good debt means that it's actually good. Okay, for example, you take out a loan. Okay, you take out a loan to buy a property and then you actually rent out the property. So this is what we call a good debt. Because okay, we probably cannot afford the full payment for the house, for example, we actually need to take a loan in order to have the property Then after that, we can actually rent out the property, and then we actually create another stream of source of income. This is what we call a good debt, because we actually generate another alternative so-called income. Next, for this year, so again, this is to finance, okay, for our cash flow business. Okay, we decide to do a business, so therefore we take a loan. Okay, with this, it actually is also considered good, because okay, with this business opportunity, alternative, it may create another source of income. So this is actually also classified as good debt. Besides this, you also can borrow, okay, in order to buy this income producing asset, which means that, for example, you borrow a car and you rent out a car, for example, or you buy an LV bag and you rent out the LV bag. Okay, so basically this actually allow us, okay, we actually borrow to buy the product, okay, but this product actually can help us to incur another passive income, okay, which is called a income producing asset. Same for this year, for example, you borrow, okay, in order to buy dividends, and they actually keep you like a so-called, they pay you. For example, we borrow to buy a stock, and the stock pay you a dividend. So basically, again, this actually create another alternative income. So basically, this is what under this point number 4. Okay, so you need to be debt free. Okay, which means that you don't have any commitment. Okay, so this is inspired by Warren Buffett. Okay, I didn't get rich by spending money that I didn't have. I got rich by being debt free. Okay, so basically the motivation is try as much as possible not to have all this kind of commitment, but for good debt is actually good according to rich dad, poor dad. Next, on item number 5, how to tell that you actually managed to achieve financial independence is actually money is not longer a primary concern. Okay, so you don't stress about bills, emergency, or lifestyle inflation. Okay, so you focus on experience, legacies, and personal growth rather than just earning more. Okay, so basically this is a saying. Okay, money is a tool. Okay, so if you use this tool properly, it actually makes something beautiful. For money, if you use it wrongly, it actually can make up a big mess. So basically, you need to ensure that, okay, you don't worry about money anymore in order to achieve financial independence. Next, on 6 year, which means that you can help others, okay, without sacrifice your security. Okay, so you are comfortably support your family, okay, donate to certain so-called causes or mentor other financially. So in short, basically, generously become a choice but not a burden. Okay, what does this mean? You can't pour from an empty cup. Okay, which means that if you have an empty cup, you can't pour any water out from this empty cup. So when you actually want to help others, okay, but don't sacrifice your own security, peace, or stability in the process, which means that you must know, okay, are you able to help others? Okay, so we definitely encourage to help others, but you should not sacrifice your own security, peace, or stability in this process. So therefore, true generosity actually include wisdom, knowing when to give and when to preserve your own strength. So basically, this is item number 6. In order for us to know financial independence is when we decide to help people, okay, we don't sacrifice our security. Number 7, okay, you have multiple stream of income. Okay, so basically this makes sense, right? The more multiple stream of income means that I actually can have so-called more passive income. So that firstly, we should not rely on a single income. Okay, so for example, like a job or one business that we fully concentrate, this is quite dangerous. Anything went wrong, this cannot generate so-called enough income to make us financial independent. So therefore, we need to diversify our investment. Okay, so besides stocks, you can have various stocks also. We can also have various estate at different part of the country. We also can have side business in order to protect you from risk. I think that conventionally, okay, when we are young, okay, we are told by our parents, okay, basically we need to study hard, study until okay, we can find a very good job. And then we work hard until we are 65, then we retire. But nowadays, if you retire around 65, you found that you have very little time for you to enjoy. Okay, so I must I must say this. Okay, so the advice is still good. Okay, so I only agree that we must study hard, okay, in order to find a good job. Okay, but okay, we cannot just imagine that we just concentrate on working until 65. Okay, because nowadays, today world, we have a lot of opportunity. So therefore, I set up this YouTube channel to discuss all the possible opportunity so that we can become financial independence together. Next, item number 8, okay, we need to insure against any catastrophic. Okay, so health, liability, and asset protection are in place. Okay, by insurance, in short. Okay, we need to have insurance to fight against this. So basically, this is a peace of mind come when you actually prepare for the worst, but hope for the best. So insurance is actually the shield that let you face life storm without fear. Okay, so we also need to have some form of insurance, okay, to protect against us in case we have some medical emergency, some law, I think this is very rare, or market crash. So this won't so-called upset us. We can still be financial independence. 9, okay, you can live anywhere. Okay, so basically this is what you mean here. So once you actually achieve financial independence, which means that you are actually felt free to move any part of the world. Okay, so remote income means you are not tied to a high cost city. So therefore you can travel or relocate without financial strain. Okay, so this is a saying. Okay, the rich people stay rich, okay, because they actually live like they are actually broken. While the broken people stay broke because they live like they are actually rich. Okay, so basically in short, okay, in order to become rich, okay, basically what you need to do is you need to live like you actually broken. Then you can continue to save. That's why how can we actually become financial independence? Item number 10. Okay, we can define our own success on our own term. Okay, we don't define whether we are success based on other people's terms. Basically, this is what I mean. Okay, you are not chasing society definition of rich. You have the freedom to pursue passion, hobbies, or early retirement. Okay, so this is a very good saying from again from Rich Dad Poor Dad. Okay, so basically, this is actually what Robert Kiyosaki actually said, a rat race. Okay, so let me give you an example. Okay, for example, we earn all the money, and then because we earn the money, because we have certain desire. For example, we want to buy a house, we want to buy a car. So we work very hard, we earn a lot of money because we have a desire to own a house and also to earn a car. Then finally, when we actually earn enough, then we spend the money, okay, to buy a house, to buy a car. Next, we have a fear, okay, because the house is not longer enough. For example, you have a family now. Okay, the house you think that is actually smaller. Okay, so basically you also have a car, but the car always break down. So therefore, you actually have a desire to have a bigger car, to have a bigger house. So therefore, again, you work very hard again. So you work very hard. Okay, then because of the desire, and finally you spend your money to buy a bigger house and to buy a bigger car, and you can see that you actually look this on and on again. So therefore, we must be able to break this rat race in order to achieve financial independence. The last thing I got to say, this will be your final test. Okay, so basically this is what we call the Monday morning check. Okay, so if you wake up on Monday, okay, with zero obligation to work for money and you still feel secure, you actually achieve financial independence. Becoming a legend, okay, isn't about having the most money. Okay, it's about having the most freedom. Okay, with this, I like to end my discussion. Please help to like and subscribe to this channel. Once again, thank you so much for strong support. I hope to see you guys soon. Bye for now. Thank you so much.